Okay. Hello everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making another dessert item. This is called authentic dark chocolate whiskey barrels. You might be familiar with these. You see them a lot of times in gift shops, fancy boutique type retailers. They're basically chocolate filled with a little bit of a liqueur. Thanks, M. McFlyer. So what we're going to be doing here is first going into a little bit of the history of these. Had a couple of questions. What happened to the painting? I had to move it because I'm using the outlet to charge a battery because I'm not sure if I have a full battery in my camera. So that's going on there. Okay, so the first thing I want to address is that there's been a little bit of talk online in some of the YouTube comments that I'm stealing some of these recipes. And I want to make this very clear. I'm not stealing recipes. What I do when I get recipes is I'll go online to either All Recipes or Wikipedia.com or sometimes YouTube, and I'll start with a basic recipe, but then I'll put my own sort of a spin on it, and I think that makes it more original. And the recipe that I'm doing today is basically just my own original creation, although it is based on the famous dark chocolate whiskey barrels. But I don't just take stuff from the internet and steal it verbatim. So let's get started. When my sister and I were little, we used to beg my mother and grandmother to make these buttery chocolate barrels during the holidays. Now, as moms ourselves, we get together every year to make whiskey barrels, and the chocolates are always on the top of our list. So let's talk a little bit about this. Can I get drunk off of liquor-filled chocolate bottles? Many centuries ago, chocolate liqueur, thanks Moki's Nirvana, chocolate liqueur made its way from France to the United States. There's a variety of ways to make chocolate liquor, but there are two reasons why the consumption of liquor-filled chocolate bottles is so popular, especially during the holidays. Besides liquor, chocolate is easily one of the most delightful treats you may flock to. Thanks, Hacklin. When you need to relax. Why not combine both? There has to be some kind of science behind chocolate and happiness. Bailey's is vanilla and chocolate, and Kahlua is hazelnut, so why not go for a chocolatey sweet liquor? Okay, so the kind of liquor that I'm going to be using today is, well, why don't we should probably just get right to our ingredients here. So the ingredients we're going to be using today, I've got some powdered sugar. Martian Assassin, thanks. We've got our vodka. This is called Deep Boy Vodka. And then I've got a little bit of salt, 1 egg, as well as some vanilla extract. This time I'm using real vanilla extract. Last time I guess I used food coloring and it messed the whole thing up. I've got a little bit of butter that's been melting. And finally, the star of our show, which is going to be the cocoa powder. Well, the star is probably the vodka. But a couple of questions. Should I preheat my oven? You will be happy to know that there is no oven usage in this dish, which is really good because it's almost 100 degrees where I am, and I don't want to be cooking stuff in the oven today. So, oh yeah, so somebody asked, am I using, I'm going to be using vodka instead of whiskey. Yeah, they're called whiskey barrels, but really you can put any kind of booze that you want. It's pretty much going to have the same effect. Diaper Baby says, does the butter have to be melting? Yes, you're going to need to do that. Otherwise, what happens is that the butter, if it's solid, it'll stick to your whisker. Is Mr. Henry Gaki or a weeb? Force and think, that's wisdom socks. I don't understand any of that, but that's okay. John Nutt, can I substitute alcohol for juice? I'm not old enough to drink. I suppose you could. I would recommend the alcohol. You're going to have to get into alcohol at some point. So you might as well just sort of look at this as maybe your introduction to it, I guess. Bumble Vision says, can I use a White Claw? And if so, does the flavor of the White Claw matter with this? White Claw is a sort of a watered down alcoholic beverage. In my generation, we used to call it Zima, but it's for people that don't want it, that don't like the taste of real alcohol, or they're trying to watch their figure. I don't know if I would recommend White Claw for this. I might drink a White Claw while you're eating these, but you should really fill these up with some kind of hard liquor. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Well, there's just one more question here. Get Wet says, would the cooking process be compromised by the usage of PCP? PCP is I think it's a stimulant. Should I preheat my microwave? Oh, okay. You don't need to preheat the microwave. That's electronic, so it just starts right up. But we're not using an oven today. Would the cooking process be compromised by use of PCP? I'm not sure about that one. But let's get back to business. So these are our ingredients, but let's also take a look. I'm kind of borrowing the roast beef cam here to show you the utensils. Roast beef is sleeping, but he'll probably, roast beef is my cat for anybody who's just joining us. We like to check in with him now and then. It increases the viewership. I've got my whisker. Always have your basic utensils, fork, spoon, and knife. These will come in handy way more than you know. I've got cups and spoons of varying measurements, which may or may not be accurate. I also have bowls and plates and one large bowl, and I'm going to show you why we're going to need the large bowl here soon enough. Let's take a look at what we're going for here. So these are the types of dark chocolate whiskey barrels that you're going to buy in a store. But these are store-bought, so they're going to probably be made by expensive equipment that makes it look all fancy. We're not necessarily going to have that, but we're going to have sort of a homemade touch, which will be nice. Bumble Vision, I missed it in chat, but how much roast beef do we need for the recipe? No, we don't need roast beef, the actual food. That's just the name of my cat. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Okay. Johnny Blade, thanks for subscribing. Okay. Step number 1, horse breeder 420. Some very creative names out there, guys. Okay. Sanus Florida Man. Okay. Namdi. Okay. All right. Let's get into this. Arun Wuha. Okay, so I'm going to start by pushing all of this stuff out of the way, J Mondes. And we are now going to take one of our bowls, Orgasmo Smirnova. We're going to take one of our bowls and we are going to pour our dry ingredients into this small bowl and mix. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. Yeah, Mr. World Extra Wide has subscribed. I think what I'll do is I won't call out the subscriptions in real time, although I like to because I want to show my appreciation, but I'm going to probably just start saying them all in succession during lulls. Community square jerk. I have kind of an OCD thing though where I always have to call it out when I see it. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. So, dry ingredients. I'm going to ask you guys to think for yourselves a little bit. What would you consider a dry ingredient? We've got butter. When it's melted, it's wet. When it's solid, it's dry. So that's kind of a tough one, but we're going to go ahead and call that a wet ingredient. We've got our milk, which is obviously, that's going to be a, got some milk I forgot to mention. Oh, peanut butter, I forgot to mention that as well. Who the fuck's my peanut butter? That's going to be a problem if we don't. Oh, okay, I've got it here. I'm using Skippy because that's what I bought to make the rim or the middle bun on my Big Mac. So we've also got our vanilla extract. The whiskey we're actually going to save until afterward. We're going to make barrels and we're going to pour the whiskey in. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at what we're doing here. Let's go ahead and call this our wet bowl. Well, no, let's do let's do the wet. So I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of milk. Like so. And we're going to do 1 tablespoon of butter. I've got our butter here. If you're just joining us right now, we are making authentic dark chocolate whiskey barrels. There's our butter. That's another thing I always forget is you want to have some kind of towel or something like that always handy, because this gets messy. I'm going to use a paper towel. Next up, we've got our vanilla extract, of which we're going to use half a teaspoon. And I'm using, I'm going exactly according to the book here, so we don't have to do any math with Alexa. So half teaspoon. Okay. So I think that's it for our wet ingredients. It's time now to go ahead and stir those up. So I've got my whisker here. This is unfortunate. Yeah, it's not quite melted enough, which is a drag, but that's probably okay. Let's see if you have any questions. I don't have whiskey or barrels. Can I still make this recipe? Well, we're going to be making the barrels out of chocolate. So what's the difference between whiskey and whisker? The whisker is the tool that I'm using to whisk. And let's see. The Blue Novo says, if you're allergic to peanut butter, what can you use instead? You can use, there's all kinds of butter products. You could use honey butter, or, I mean, you could even use almond butter, which I think is probably fine. All right. So this is a little bit problematic because the butter's not completely melting, but you know, it's going to be what it is. Next up, we're going to, maybe this will melt while we're doing our dry ingredients. So for our dry ingredients, we want 1/2 of a cup of confectioner sugar. Now this is very important. It is not regular sugar, guys. This is called confectioner sugar. A confectioner was the early term for someone who makes candy. And that's not to be confused with a chocolatier. In fact, chocolatiers and confectioners never got along at all. And if you went up to a confectioner and said, "Hey, are you a chocolatier?" they'd probably sock you in the jaw. All right, I'm trying to get all this out, and we're just going to open this. Now watch out, because this kind of gets everywhere. Okay, and we're going to use 1/2 of a cup. So I've got my 1/2 cup here. And again, as I've said in the past, these are not very accurate. Probably the best way to do this would be to just simply pour it. Probably used a little too much, so I'm going to put some of that back. Okay, and other ingredients that we will need for the dry portion, we want a pinch of salt. I've got a salt grinder here, which is pretty cool, from McCormick. Okay. Thanks, Kin Ghidorah. So I can't tell if the salt's coming out of this or not, but either way, you can't have enough salt. Okay. Go ahead and sift that. I think when you do it with dry ingredients, you call it sifting, whereas with wet ingredients, you call it whisking. Hold on, I'm going to turn off the air because I had some people complaining that it was too loud. Okay, we also want our cocoa powder, so we want actually a lot of this. We want a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, which I have here. This doesn't want to come out. Okay. Thanks, Sharka Bubba Kiki. So we want a 1/2 cup. I'm not sure I'm having any luck getting it out here, but whatever. Okay. If we feel like we haven't used enough, thanks, my morning jacket. If we feel like we haven't used enough, we always can have more. Hazium. Thanks for subscribing. Okay, so Hairplane. Confectioner sugar, we've done. Butter, we've done. Oh yeah, we need our 1/2 cup of peanut butter. I think that that's going to be our... I'm not sure if peanut butter is going to be in our wet ingredients or our dry ingredients. If there's anybody out there who has experience with this kind of thing, let me know. Sophia Selmasi, my internet is in and out because of the heat wave, so I'm going to do some painting. Have fun, everyone. Okay. I understand that there is a heat wave going on in the UK, and I want to say I hope that you are doing okay and doing everything you can to stay cool. Okay. Somebody just subscribed. Thank you. This recipe does not use an oven, but even if it did, I would probably suggest to go ahead and do it without the oven because there's just no need for that. Lefty's Life, is it crunchy? Uh-oh, it disappeared on me. Sometimes the chat goes so fast, it's hard. Rika235 says, can I use no peanut butter to substitute the peanut butter if I have a peanut allergy? Yeah. So like we said before, you could do almond butter or even wheelchair man. Beelzebub, will I ever do workout videos again? I have one, thank you. I have one, Schubert13, thanks, called Henry's Gym, and I did it about 8 years ago, and I never really continued the series. But I think that I will do a part 2. It was the Spartacus workout, which was something I was really into at the time, but I think I might have herniated a disc doing one of the exercises. So it's not necessarily something that okay, so I have the extra crunchy, which I don't know if that's good or not. But either way, we want a half a cup of this. So I'm not very optimistic that it's going to squeeze out. It's not bad. It's hard to, I can't see the cup to know if it's getting in there or not. Oh boy, this is difficult. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this in our wet bowl. Wet ingredients. And I guess we should probably stir that. But I'm a little worried that it's going to stick to my whisker. And if you feel like it's too solid, then you can add more milk. But yeah, this is coming out okay. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to combine both of these ingredients into one larger bowl, which I have here. And a lot of questions here. War Doge 265, how would I get the peanut butter out if it were in a glass container? Yeah, you're not going to be able to use that squeezing method that I did, so you're going to have to probably, you might have to spoon it out. Kiroslavius, are these barrels good for celebration of return of my ex-wife after 2 years, saying that she's pregnant and the child is mine? Okay, wow, that's pretty heavy. Yeah, you're probably going to need more than whiskey barrels. You might need just some straight. Super Sue just subscribed. Okay. So let's take these. Let's stop messing around here and let's go ahead and start doing this. I'm going to take the wet ingredients, put them in there like so. I'm going to add the dry ingredients. I'm sorry, the other way around basically. And now we're going to stir this up as much as possible. And this is where you want it to be moist. This is looking a little dry to me. And if that's the case, then you either want to add maybe a little more peanut butter, or maybe, yeah, all of my wet stuff is sitting there. Okay, well, it definitely smells very nice and chocolatey, which is good. This stuff is just all sticking to the damn whisker. And that's pissing me off a little bit, sorry. I'm not sure if you're supposed to melt the butter maybe ahead of time, but we're doing it. Shane Yes says, will you ever chug a large amount of water on stream for us? I probably could, if you want. Okay, so I think I might use a different tool actually, because what's happening is all the wet ingredients are getting caught up in the whisker. So, I think what I'm going to do now is maybe, this is why it's good to have not only a paper towel, but you also want to have your other tools here. I'm going to start breaking it up, stirring it up with the fork. You want everything to be uniform in terms of, you don't want to see large areas of confectioner sugar, large areas of peanut butter, or large areas of the whatever else it was, cocoa powder. You want to have everything pretty uniform. Okay, so this is coming out pretty good now. This is pretty well mixed. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be grabbing a large plate or a platter. For the next part of our recipe, what we're going to be doing is we're going to make these into little barrels, and we're going to bore holes into the barrels, and we're going to pour our whiskey in there. See if there's some other questions here. Here, Jabber says, hey, Henry, I just turned 32 and I have never been in a romantic relationship. Do you think this recipe would get me a date? I think it would. You know, you're making something sort of dessert-like and special and keeping it light. You know, I think that that's okay. And then maybe further on into the relationship, you can make something more difficult. ZX as DX, do we need to preheat the oven? No, I don't believe there is any oven activity here. So next step, if you're just joining us, what we've done is we've taken some peanut butter, some chocolate, and some butter and a whole bunch of other shit, and we put it in two separate bowls, separating by dry and wet, and then we combined both bowls into one larger bowl, which is called the work bowl. And now we're going to form our, I don't know if you'd call this a batter or whatever, but we're going to form it into barrels. So we're going to start by packing it. A little bit more crummy than I kind of wish it was, but meanwhile I'll answer some more of your questions. By the way, I hope everybody has their coffee. Okay, Syrian just subscribed. Thanks for doing that. Is mustard an okay substitute for peanut butter? I'm allergic to peanuts. I'm very sorry to hear that so many people are allergic to peanuts. I am not really. I guess, yeah, you could probably use almond butter. I don't know if almond butter fits into that. Okay, so we'll probably make one more. You should have about enough to make 4 barrels. and you want to kind of space them out a little bit. If you have a little bit of excess here, you can get rid of that. This is a little crummier than I kind of wish it was, but we can deal with that. All right. So my next, I'm going to wash my hands because it's starting to get a little bit messy. Always good also to check what we're doing against our... Okay, it doesn't quite look like that yet, but it will be very soon. Next thing you want to do is you want to scoop out the inside of these logs, and we're going to add in some of our, not whiskey in this case, but we're going to do our vodka. So this is going to be a little tricky. These should really be one, but we want to hollow these out. In order to hollow these out, I think I'm going to use a tool that I have here, which is sort of a boring tool. And you can poke a hole right down the middle of this. And then move it around a little bit. Okay, so I have a hole. Okay. I had COVID a little while ago, and I hope it's all gone. I seem to have a little bit of a cough. So I'm pouring my vodka into a can. I want to be careful. Okay. We'll close it up. Sorry, I've got a lingering cough. I hope it's not long COVID or whatever. Okay, so what did I do with my tool? Oh yeah, here it is. So again, we're just boring a hole into the side of it so that it can hold our whiskey. So that's the one with the hole. And you don't want to be drinking whiskey or vodka or whatever you're using while you're making this, because that's going to make things difficult. All right. This, unfortunately, one of these things came kind of apart. You know what, on this one, I think I'm probably just going to roll it in the whiskey, because really, when you think about it, it's kind of the same thing, right? And I'll do that with this as well. Hopefully, if you're doing it, yours is not quite as messy as mine. Ultim Vitum just subscribed. Okay. So did Light Mayo. Okay. Okay. This is a pretty messy recipe. I want to thank all these people for subscribing there. And gifting subs. Valuable Talisman, thank you for that. Big Baby Blue, Siriash, Incoming Stick, Syrian, I know I'm missing some, Dolphin Hands. Okay, I'm going to have to get to work here. So our next ingredient is, after we poured the alcohol into the, shit. I'm going to have to apologize to everybody. In my ingredients, or in my recipes, I'm going to explain what happened here. I had my recipe here, which has 6 steps, and I didn't see that it actually continued on the next page. and it says put in the oven for 10 minutes at 250 degrees. So, okay, if you are in, I mean, it's almost 100 degrees here, which is pretty bad. If you're in a hot place, I'm going to recommend that if you have a microwave, maybe use that, or just maybe you could put it outside and let it dry. And then that's, I mean, there's no ingredients here that you couldn't eat without cooking. I think the cooking is really just about drying it out. So I apologize for that. What we're going to do now is I'm going to transfer these onto a plate. I'm probably going to use some tin foil, or no, you know what? I'll probably use the parchment paper for this, since a lot of times I have problems with the tin foil sticking. So I'm just going to take our barrels and I'm just going to place them carefully on here, and we'll leave them sort of spaced out so that they have enough room to breathe while they're cooking. Again, I always like to check and see how we're doing against the professionals, and you know, ours look a little bit, I guess you could say, more homemade. Okay. Wordy Dreamer just subscribed, thanks for that. But I'm going to preheat the oven here to, what did it say, 250 degrees. So while that's going, there were a couple on the Discord. We had a couple of requests for songs, and maybe that would be a good thing to do now. Okay. Thanks, Daku Suru. So let's see here. Okay. I always say that it's a good idea to have a hobby in case something goes wrong during the cooking process, like you find out that you have to preheat the oven all of a sudden. I play guitar and I sing, and I like to sing songs by request, and I've had some pretty nice requests from people. We have a Discord, so maybe if the moderators don't mind tweeting or posting that Discord link, because that's how you can recommend recipes, and you can also request songs. Somebody suggested this song, which is Grain Day. And it's called The Boulevard of Broken Dreams, and it's a very sad song. I walk along the road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me, and I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps, and I'm the only one, and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone, I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone else will find me. Till then I walk alone. Alright, so that's about a guy who walks alone. I had another song. This one is sort of a classic. This is a song by a band called The Kinks that you probably know. I met her in a club down in Old Soho, where you drink by Jerry Cola, C-O-L-A Cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her name in a dark brown voice. She said Lola, L-O-L-A Lola, 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 Lola. Well, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Oh, my Lola, 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 Lola. Well, I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she walked like a woman and talked like a man. Oh, my Lola, 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 Lola. Who knows where they get the lyrics for these crazy songs? Well, we drank champagne and danced all night under electric candlelight. She picked me up and sat me on her knee and said, little boy, won't you come home with me? Well, I'm not the world's most passionate guy, but when I looked in her eyes, I almost fell for my Lola. So that's that one. I'm not sure what happens in the rest of that song. Hopefully they build a life together, and but you know, a lot of songs don't have happy endings. What are some other? Utter Sucker says, when do you add the cumin? This one you don't really. That's more of a savory thing. But I suppose you could. There are a lot of examples of food nowadays which are, I don't know, sort of savory and sweet at the same time. But Howard Morrison says, could you please sing Dark House by Suicidio? Jose Suicidio, who writes a lot of the music for the Henry's Kitchen episodes. Dark house in which once more I sit, I curse the very thought of it. Doors creeping through the cold empty night. Oh, how it gives me fright. That was the song about my old apartment, which during Halloween was very, very creepy. Thanks for that one. A few months ago, I asked you whether you would start streaming on Twitch, and I was wondering if you started pursuing a Twitch career. Yes, as a matter of fact, thank you for suggesting that, by the way. And I want to say that in August, I have a little bit of time, and I'm gonna get really serious about it. I'm gonna try to get to be a partner, and with your help, I'm gonna also add a Wednesday night stream, I believe, or maybe a Thursday night, where we just do music and maybe play some games and do other things. But I will say that Twitch, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, Twitch has enhanced the quality of my life, and I think it's because it gives me a level of interaction with people that I wasn't previously experiencing, and I haven't experienced for many years. So I want to thank you for that. Not you, meaning just the person who asked that question, but you, all of you collectively. All right, well, it sounds like our... okay. It sounds like we're ready to put this in the oven. Okay. Batch is 7, all right. So, I'm going to put these in there. So we're going to do this for 10 minutes. So, Alexa, set timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
And maybe, you know what? This is another thing that I like to do. Okay. Let's drink coffee. Why don't we answer a few questions here? Okay. Moon 2 Coffee, is it okay to put things drenched in alcohol in the oven? Okay. I guess we're going to find out. Okay. That's kind of concerning. Would that just be any interaction? Okay. Feels Strongman says, I don't know what Feels Strongman is actually. Any Twitch staff here? Get this man partnered. Hey, thank you very much. As a matter of fact, I want to take this moment here to thank all of the wonderful people that help out with these streams. Because without them, I couldn't do it. The first couple of streams we did were not any not any fun for anybody because there was no moderation happening, and people were calling me all kinds of slurs and saying terrible things about my face and about my what seems to be a little bit of an impending baldness problem, and about my weight and the fact that I've gotten older, and it was really very depressing. But we've tackled a lot of that. Some of those comments still do get through. The Blue Nova says, you play video games. I did when I was a kid. I played a lot of Galaga and Pac-Man, but I'd like to start getting more into it. And Danny Dan says, so you like us? And yeah, absolutely I do. Clotho Blue, what step was I supposed to add the diced onions and tomatoes? I think you might have looked at the previous week's recipe because we didn't do that this time. Blue Nova, I want to put mine outside the yard to dry, like you said, but I'm worried I will get them confused with dog turds. Okay. Hopefully, I don't know what yours are coming out looking like, but what you want is for them to look like this. Okay. So if it doesn't look like that, maybe you want to go back and see what you might have done wrong. Okay, so the moderators for this, Dingo Bop, Fawcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Do Dingle, Dog Goggy, Dr. Flanges, and some others who have offered help here and there are Bacchus, Daisy Blossom, Melon 95, and Pilskman. Last time I was trying to do it from memory, and I forgot Melon 95, and I also forgot Do Dingle, I think, who's one of the moderators. So I apologize for that, but also I want to thank someone named Sir Doom who spread the word of Henry's Kitchen to the LGX and to Bumblevision, and they've been a very helpful group of people. Also, my friend Bill Larkin, he's Bill Larkin Music, Larkin, and he improvises songs on the spot, and it's really one of the most amazing things. And so that kind of got me into Twitch, as did Nim. Nim had me on his show, and I taught him how to cook a peanut butter and jelly sandwich last year, and that was the beginning of a whole Twitch career. And also, I've never met Forsen, but Forsen has sent a lot of people over here, and so has Moon Moon. So this is all very cool. And thanks Shane Yes also for always making clips, and thanks to all the people who make clips of the show and put them on Reddit and stuff like that. And want to also say a very special thank you to Quanto, Quanto, who has made a layout for me where I can see the questions much easier. But also Quanto is working on trying to get, and also made those notifications where it looks like the official Henry's Kitchen graphics, and next time we're even going to have Henry's Kitchen transitions, which I'm really excited about. So thanks Quanto, and thanks everybody. Maybe I'll do one more song. Let's see. Pump Kinledge says, "What's with that hairline?" Or with that hairline? Okay. I think they're probably saying that they like my hairline. Funky Noodle, does Jose Suicidio tour? It's a good idea. It's really a good idea, so maybe. Steve Denams. Hi, Henry. My wife's boyfriend is coming over for dinner, and she wants me to cook for them. Do you have a recipe recommendation? This would be your wife's boyfriend. Okay. I think this recipe could be a good one, but you're probably thinking more of a dinner recipe. I might go with. A couple of weeks ago, we did the twice stuffed, twice baked potatoes. That would probably be the best one, I think. And Alexa, how much time left?
You have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on your 10-minute timer.
Just enough time right there to do one more song here while we're waiting. Maybe I'll go ahead and do a little Jose Suicidio. She says she wants to be home early, 'cause you're just not her type of guy, and she's got better things to do than to hang around with you. She's got better ways she'd rather spend her time. So for now, okay, she just wants an Uber home. It's called Uber. It's a very sweet song. She says it's not that you're not handsome, you're just not her cup of tea. She still wants to be your friend, and if she meets her Mr. Right, then maybe you could help them move their stuff when she moves in with him. But for now, she just wants you to pay for an Uber home. It's a very sad song about unrequited love, but maybe that's good for the guy who asked about his wife's boyfriend and cooking for them. All right. Well, folks, this is always the most exciting time. As a matter of fact, in the last couple of minutes here, I'm going to try to set up this other camera. It's normally the roast beef camera, but maybe we could have this here. To catch the big reveal. And by the way, roast beef is alive and well. He's just a very, very old cat, and has a lot of difficulty staying away. But here we go. In a little bit. Here we go. Alexa, how much time left?
You have 40 seconds left on your 10-minute timer.
I think that's probably all right. I think there's a way to fix that. Okay. Well, whatever. It's in black and white, but I'm going to grab an oven mitt for this. You can grab any kind of oven mitt you want. I've got this one. Which is nice because it covers the whole hand and your arm as well. So that's kind of nice. Here we go. Let's turn off the oven. Alexa, stop. Okay. So they're dried up, and I think that's what the purpose of putting them in the oven is. But Uh-oh, there goes roast beef.
Okay.
Here, let's capture a little roast beef here who's just
Okay.
decided to join us.
Okay.
Sorry, this is kind of a mess, but
Okay.
that's roast beef, my cat. Anyway,
Okay.
let's go ahead and switch camera angles here.
Okay.
Voila! We have here Henry's authentic
Okay.
dark chocolate whiskey barrels.
Okay.
And as you saw, these are hollowed out and they contain liquor in them, so they are not
Okay.
necessarily for all ages, unless this is a time that you wanted to start getting into learning how to do
Okay.
drinking stuff. But I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them on a little plate.
Okay.
I'll probably use the fork.
Okay.
Hoping these don't break apart. They're a little moist.
Okay.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Okay.
They're breaking apart, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, going to go into a little bit of crisis mode here. Okay, if I get them with my hands, I think the fork
Okay.
was breaking them apart.
Okay.
There we have. This is the dark chocolate whiskey barrels.
Okay.
And let's take a look at what they look like against our. This is what we were
Okay.
going for. And again, mine are homemade, so they're not going to have that kind of crafting that you get from the professional equipment.
Okay.
But I'd say these came out pretty good. And again, it's very hot out there, so if you guys
Okay.
don't want to use the oven, you probably could put these outside, you know,
Okay.
maybe on your front stoop, or even, you know, if you live in an apartment like I do, you could put it on the
Okay.
windowsill. All right.
Okay.
Checking in on the cat roast beef right there. All right.
Okay.
Now the fun part, we're going to go ahead and eat these.
Okay.
And there's going to be a little bit of drinking involved. So
Okay.
these are coming apart just a little bit, which is unfortunate. But let's see.
Okay. Okay.
Tasty. I've got no problem
Okay.
with this at all.
Okay.
Somebody says this could be a good gift for your neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you have a crush on your neighbor.
Okay. Okay.
Is it enough sugar for the cocoa? Yeah.
Okay.
There is enough sugar there. Dip them in vodka. Yeah, why
Okay.
not? You know, that's really not a bad idea. I could have gone a little heavier with the booze in this,
Okay.
but it is 11 in the morning or noon now. But
Okay.
well,
Okay.
I'm gonna sit here and eat this
Okay.
all day long. So I want to say thank you again to all the moderators and all,
Okay.
and to Quanto for these cool subscription things. And I want to thank all the people that are subscribing.
Okay.
It's too many to be able to name in real time, because that might be a kind of a frustrating show to watch. But I do appreciate it.
Okay.
August is going to be a very exciting month. I'm going to be doing collaborations, teaching other Twitch people
Okay.
how to cook, and they're going to teach me how to play video games. And
Okay.
but we will always be doing the Sunday and Wednesday cooking lessons,
Okay.
and that happens Sunday at noon. And that's the next time I'm going to see you, Sunday noon.
Okay.
Come rain or come shine. And I'm sorry about that last one. Was a little bit of a train wreck when I was doing the commentary.
Okay.
I had some technical problems, but just going to take another little piece of this.
Okay.
That's something that you could definitely eat,
Okay.
maybe too much of. So thank you guys very much. One last time, take a look at our
Okay.
product. Not too much different from what we were going for. So,
Okay.
as always, thank you so much for joining us here on Henry's Kitchen, and I just want to
Okay.
say how much that I appreciate that we're all doing this. And
Okay.
if you are out there in Europe or the UK, where I'm seeing that there are some very high temperatures, please drink some water,
Okay.
stay safe, and we'll try to do the same on this end. And let's all
Okay.
try to have a good rest of the week. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.